You're watching Bully Badass TV, YouTube's best channel for dog lovers.
I'm Dave Wilson, president of ABKC, founder of Razor's Edge, and one of the co-founders of the American Bully. The ABKC, we don't throw our own show ever. We sanction shows. There's always hosts all around the world, all around the states that throw their shows. We do the sanctioning. They use our rules, our judges, our guidelines. One show a year is the show that we as the ABKC host ourselves. It's what we consider to be the premier show of the year. It's always very exciting because throughout the year you have all these different competitors, and some are on the West Coast, some are on the East Coast, some travel everywhere. But this is that one event where people really look forward to and save up, and the best competitors come for this one. So it's, for the American Bully and the ABKC, this is the mecca of dog shows. The breed at the moment is still growing. It's still in its infancy. I think there's a lot of people that expect the breed to be further along than it is right now, and the problem is that this is a very young breed, and we built ourselves and built this breed from the bottom up. So we didn't start necessarily with the top of the line dogs. We started a lot with broodstock dogs. So over the years we've been tweaking the breed and getting the breed more to what we feel is the proper representation of the breed. The state of the breed itself, if you're looking into ABKC registered dogs, which we feel we were the founder of the breed, the founder of the registry, we were the people who set the criteria for the breed, we were the people who set the standards for the breed. So in essence, the ABKC was what created and validated the breed. So if we're just dealing with ABKC registered dogs, what we feel are the true American Bullies, there's a definite progression of the breed. There's a big issue in the breed overall. It's the misconception or public perception of what is this breed because of avenues like Facebook and other registries that have come later on that don't necessarily follow the guidelines that we set for our breed. There's a lot of public confusion of what actually is an American Bully breed. There's a lot of dogs flying under the name and the radar of the American Bully breed. So if you're looking at the overall perception of the breed, it's quite confusing because there's a lot of false signals and a lot of false things being said out there, and a lot of things that aren't really what ABKC would consider an American Bully being called an American Bully or flying under the flag of the American Bully. What we've done is we have a criteria of what dogs can still be entered in the stud books. These are dogs that are not registered with us already. We still have single registration open, and when you create a breed, you have to have that you have to build your broodstock. So you need to have that for probably 70 to 100 years, to really get a good enough stock to build a breed on. So we're a long way away from closing the door to single registration, closing the stud books. But what we have done is we've made the criteria a lot stricter. We do, like we said earlier, realize that now this breed has elements of bulldog, and that's part of our breed now. There's nothing we can do about that. But what we've done is we've made the guidelines a lot stricter to where we're not taking in things that are F1s and dogs that are actual recent crosses of bulldogs. And on the other end, we're not taking in dogs that are too terrier, too much of a pit bull. So we have these guidelines on either side of our criteria for dogs coming in that are very strict now. It requires pictures. A lot of times it requires a judge's inspection. A lot of times we require DNA. So what we're working to do is to protect the breed, to keep it within boundaries so it does have consistency, and there is consistency in the broodstock. And we are turning away a lot of dogs that try to register that are not healthy dogs or good quality dogs, because we don't want to taint the gene pool of these dogs. We want to make sure that this is a breed that can sustain itself for 100+ years. So we are working where some people just register dogs. We don't. We look at the future of our breed. We look at the American Bully as we are building a breed. We don't look at it as we're just putting out paperwork on a dog. In the beginning with our dogs, we had a broad variety of dogs in the American Bully breed, and our judging was a little bit more lenient because, again, we were new. As time went on, as the breed went on, we got more specific. The rules got stricter, the criteria got stricter, and the judging got stricter. It used to be that we wouldn't give not award. We would always give a first place ribbon in a class. Now we withhold a ribbon. If there's no dog in the class that fits the class, then we withhold a ribbon. So we've gotten stricter over generations, but in essence, it's helped the breed, and another angle has hurt the breed, because what has happened is that the more we got strict on flaws, the more we also started to breed away from breed standard. It's a difficult game when you're breeding a breed like this. This was a breed created for substance. When we made this breed, us as the originators, the founders of the breed, the original breeders, we were breeding towards the edge of a standard. We were always trying to put as much mass, bone, head, you know, the exaggerated features on the dog, but without it falling apart. We were always trying to keep a balanced dog, but still push the boundaries of it. So we wanted a functional dog and as much as we could put on it without it breaking down. So this breed was built on the ideal of adding mass, adding head, adding exaggerated features without going too far. The problem with that is that when you're adding exaggerations, there is a boundary. I mean, you will fall over the edge when you go too far. And when it becomes something that becomes a hindrance to the dog, it's not healthy, it's not functional, it's not physical, then that becomes a hindrance on the dog, and that's not what we wanted. We didn't want to cross that line, we wanted to stay right on the inside of that line. Being very technical, your judge is supposed to look at the guidelines of what the dog is. Breed type being the main part. I mean, breed type is what it should be, but there's all these different parts of the standards that break a dog down, and there's a lot of flaws that are not accepted. Some are disqualifications, some are just pointed against. The problem is that when you're breeding these exaggerated dogs, a lot of times it's hard to create these dogs without creating a flaw or something that's outside the standard. It's a lot easier when you're breeding a finer dog, in my opinion, a cleaner dog, to not get the flaws in some of these things. So it's a very difficult nature to breed a dog with exaggerations but flawless. And as the judges got stricter, the standards got stricter, and the judging in the ring got stricter, it started to lean that more dogs were being awarded that were a little bit outside of breed type, a little bit lighter dogs, not quite the heavier, you know, nature dogs that we were breeding. Excuse me. And that was all for the purpose of trying to keep it true to its form, but true to the standard, not having the flaws. We've rewritten the standard so that people can understand when you're reading the standard that this is supposed to be a breed of substance, that having added bone and added substance is not to be pointed against because that was what created our breed and what we bred for. But you still have to have a dog within the guidelines. You're not supposed to have the flaws that are listed in the standard. You're supposed to be within the standard. So we're in a very transitional period in the breed right now because we are getting a lot of dogs that are actually very correct and clean and, you know, free of flaws, but at the same time, a lot of these dogs are not carrying the substance that the breed was supposed to carry. So you're having good, correct dogs, but they're not quite what the breed standard of the dog is supposed to be. They're lacking in a lot of ways. So where we had to go back again, is, like I said, we rewrote the standard. This is why at one point we had the extreme class, and we decided that this breed was an extreme breed. So instead of a class for that, we rolled that into the other varieties, the pocket, the XL, and the standard, basically saying these dogs can be dogs of mass. They should be, as long as they're still balanced and it doesn't go over the edge. Another misconception and confusion is what breeds made up the American Bully. What is the makeup of this breed? Was it just a pit and Amstaff? Is it Bulldog that's in the breed? I mean, it's a big cloud area that people haven't really got clarification on what exactly is an American Bully, and I'll basically explain it to you. The American Bully in the beginning from my hands with Razor's Edge was Pit Bull and Amstaff. That's what it was. Those were the bloods that I personally worked with, the breeds. And I was pushing the boundaries of trying to breed the bullier style in that. Some of the other lines that were brought in had some skepticism or of having Bulldog in them. Even though it was never said or wasn't said, those were some of the lines that also came into the breed. So the foundation of the original breed was Pit Bull, Amstaff, and there is some speculation of some Bulldog, which was unknown. You know, it was just more of a speculation. But that's what it started with. It was never intended to be a breed to have anything else added to it. However, over generations, it has. It's changed. It wasn't the original intention of the breed, and it wasn't done by me personally, but it was done by our community. I mean, people in the community were trying to get bullier style dogs, and instead of the way I did it, they figured using Bulldog lineage or, you know, some Bulldog stuff in it would give those traits. And in essence, in some dogs it worked, you know, and some dogs it didn't. And it brought in traits into the breed that weren't initially into the breed, but in a way it also helped freshen the breed too. So now in the American Bully breed, I don't know what actual Bulldog is in there, but there is element of Bulldog in the breed. It wasn't the original intention of the breed, and that's why we're rewriting the history of the breed, because it's there. I mean, it was something that was brought into our breed, and it is what it is. However, in the beginning, me personally, was something that I didn't agree with, but it was happening anyway. Now that I've taken a step back and really take a good view of the breed, our breed has a really good, unique look to it, as long as it's not gone too far, one direction nor the other direction. It shouldn't be too terror, and it shouldn't be too much of that. Pit Bull is a diverse breed. Right. There's plenty of different styles of Pit Bulls, and I don't care what anybody says, the Pit Bull doesn't have a unique look to it. Never has. All different styles. So the Amstaff had a unique look to it, and it was basically it is a Pit Bull. I mean, it's a certain variety of Pit Bull, bred a certain way, The American Bully was also that. But what's the American Bully now is it's different. Because of the little bit of Bulldog, or however much Bulldog has been mixed into this breed, it has now separated that breed and given its own unique look to it. I mean, and that's what it is. I mean, I think I didn't like it at first, like I said, but I think now it's helped keep the breed unique. It's been one of these things that's made us and our breed look different than any other breed. We really have a look unique to our breed, and that is its own look. I mean, you can look at an American Bully and say it's an American Bully, and yeah, it is predominantly Amstaff Pit Bull lineage, but there are Bulldog traits in a lot of these lines and a lot of these dogs, and it is in our breed. And it's something that we can't remove, and it's something that's actually tweaked the way our breed look, and it's just what our breed is to this day. So it's there. But like I said again, I mean, it's one of those things that there's a boundary, and if you go too far this way, meaning Bulldog, then it'll roll into looking like an Oldie or an a Frenchie or an English. Same if you go too far the other way, it'll roll back into looking like an Amstaff or a Pit Bull. So it's a fine line of what it is, but it's the makeup of the breed. But the key is, and this is really the key, now it doesn't matter what was in it, who did what. Those things are irrelevant at this stage of the game because this is what we have. The only way to preserve what we have and continue what we have is to only breed this breed to itself. There's enough in this breed, in the makeup, for it to continue on. So the problem now that we face is that people need to stick to breeding American Bullies to American Bullies, and in my feeling is ABKC registered American Bullies to ABKC registered American Bullies. I mean, we are the foundation of the breed, and we're trying to protect this breed and preserve this breed, and our goal is to look out for the future of the breed. So if you're staying with an American Bully, ABKC registered to another American Bully, it will become a very consistent breed in the future. The key is to not allow people to bring in another dog at this point or another breed at this point. I mean, it doesn't need to be done. This is where we are, this is what we are, and now it's time to continue on. It'll be a breed that, not unlike the Pit Bull, which is its main ancestor, that you can't look, there's so many different varieties. This will be a breed, in my opinion, that you look at and say, 100% that's an American Bully. I think with what we're pushing right now with the ABKC and trying to really explain to people what the breed really should look like, I think that it's going to go in a positive direction. I think that we were just a little too critical for too long, and that started to affect the overall look of the breed, and this is where we're working on now. We still want these correct, clean dogs free of flaws, but it still should look like what an American Bully was supposed to look like. And it's difficult for me just to pin one dog. And for me to say this is the ideal dog, especially the day before Nationals, probably not the ideal thing for me to say. But there's a lot of dogs right now. There's a lot of dogs out there right now that have the overall look. I will tell you that this past week prior to Nationals, I went around on the internet just looking at all the dogs coming, and I was actually pretty shocked to see that it's actually coming together. There is a look that's finally starting to come together. I don't like to just single out one. I know that should single out a dog just so people can have that exact idea of what it is, but it's also a political thing that when you pick one dog, for that, because there are different dogs. I mean, it's unfair to say. I brought out a dog this year that his name's Demon Boy, and I don't think he's the ideal show dog. I think that there's still tweaking to do on the dog to be a show dog. In the position I'm in, I can't show him anyway, but I think for breed type, if you're looking at a dog made up of the bloodlines within our breed, he's a very good specimen for that because he is carrying Razor's Edge, he is carrying the Gotti ancestry. He's got all the stuff that made our breed is in him. And he's a balance of that. He's carrying the good quality traits of each of those lines. Again, I wouldn't say he's an ideal dog for the ring. There are better dogs in the ring. And a lot of our grand champions are a testament to that. But it's just for somebody to say, what should this breed look like? If you're blending the stuff together. And that's what I'm bringing him out to show people, like, if you blend these things together, it should come out looking like this, you know, and this is a proper representation of what it should look like. And it's one thing if you preach, but it's nothing if you don't have something concrete for people to see. You know, we're very visual in our community, and if you don't have something there for them to see, and it's hard for me, I can't borrow somebody's, and you know, and it is political if I say this person, this person, this person. In my situation, I'm not going to step in the ring because I don't want to compete with our competitors. Being as one of the founders of this, I just don't feel that it's the right thing for me to do. So it's very hard for that. I don't want to put Demon against those dogs because those dogs have earned their titles. And those dogs are great representations, but I can't carry those dogs everywhere I go. I can't go overseas and let me borrow your dog, or let me borrow your dog, or, you know, and it's different when you show a picture, it's different. So I needed a real life specimen that I could just say, hey, look, breed something similar to this. This is what our breed should look like. But I can't go all the way out there and say that because there are things that he needs tweaked as well. But it was the best that I could come up with at the time. You know, it wasn't made through my hands. You know, I had help in it, and it isn't 100% raised edge, but I didn't want 100% raised edge for this purpose. You know, 100% raised edge for my own purpose is a different story. But this is to show people I can't just take a dog to say this is it and it's only razor's edge. That's not fair either, because this is a breed made up of different bloodlines. It's not just my bloodline. Like we talked earlier, it's not just my philosophy of what the breed should have been. Other people put their twist on it as well, you know. I mean, it's very difficult to find a cookie cutter perfect representation without a flaw or without anything, you know, and hopefully that's one day all our dogs will be that way. We are the founding registry for this breed, and we have guidelines, and this is what the guidelines of our breed are. But we also really need to get educational information out there as much as possible. We'll be releasing videos, and that'll basically show what these dogs are supposed to look like, videos breaking down the standard, what the standard means, what every aspect of a standard is. We'll be releasing breed sketches to go over every aspect of the breed. So we're going to start to put out a lot of informational, educational media. Our direction and my personal direction is to get clarification on what actually this breed should be. And I think the future is going to be bright for the breed. And I mean, we're doing everything we can possibly do to get that information out there. Again, I'm Dave Wilson, president of ABKC, and I just want to say thank you to everybody out there supporting and respecting this breed. Thank you for the people keeping it really professional and really helping to give our breed a positive image. It's you all that have actually kept this breed going forward. We fought a lot in the past to get to where we are today, and we still have a long way to go, but nothing but love and respect to everybody out there supporting the breed. You know, thank you for taking the time to watch this interview, and I look forward to meeting all you at a future event.